Hello, church family. It's 2 Minute Tuesday. This Advent, our sermon series is entitled Do Not Fear. And we'll spend the month of December exploring this topic in more detail in our midweek reflections. Speaking of fear, Jeb Corliss is a world-famous base jumper who, 20 years ago, first made a name for himself pioneering the use of wingsuit technology. Videos of his death-defying stunts are all over YouTube, and he gets millions of views. Over the years, he's developed a reputation of being fearless. But I read a recent interview with Corliss in which he said, that's an absolute misconception. He said, in my line of work, fearlessness gets you killed. Corliss goes on to admit that from the moment he steps off the bridge or jumps off the cliff, he's terrified. He's terrified until his feet are once again firmly on the ground. Fear, says Corliss, is what keeps me alive. Psychologists call fear an adaptive emotion. Fear is a natural response to deadly threat, and so it is argued fear is what has kept the human race alive. If this is the case, why is it that when God shows up again and again throughout the Bible, he tells people, do not fear? Well, God says this because fear is only a natural response if death is part of your reality. And it wasn't always this way for us. In the beginning, God created heaven and earth. God created the world that we lived in, and it was good. Death wasn't part of the picture. Death only entered our reality when we fell into sin. In Genesis 2, God tells the first human beings, it is only if you disobey me that you will surely die. When we chose to eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, we really chose our way instead of God's. At that point, we parted ways with the true source of our provision and protection. Death became part of our reality because of our fall into sin, and it was at that point that we learned to fear. God says, do not fear, because his presence introduces a new reality. When God is present to humanity, he reimposes the goodness that was there in the beginning. God is the ultimate authority over all things, including the things that we fear, including death. When God is with us, everything that we fear answers to him. Now at Christmas, we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, Emmanuel, meaning God with us. At his birth, Jesus ushers in a new reality, a reality in which all things, even the things that we fear, serve his purposes and serve his will. So, when we celebrate Christmas, we're not just taking a day off. We're not just observing a holiday. We are celebrating the advent of a new reality that follows a new rule. Do not fear.